Thank you very much, Yahya19, for your closing statement. We will now have 10 minutes from NakdimonB52 to close off round 3, and we will move on to our crossfire. So, please take the mic, Nakdimon. It is your turn. You have 10 minutes. And as for the 30 seconds credit, Yahya, looks like we have that on store. Perhaps they can be brought out during the crossfire or something like this. We will decide that in due time, inshallah. Nadim, in your mic, 10 minutes.
Okay, it is amazing. My opponent said that, commenting on Genesis 22, he said, well, of course he doesn't mention Ishmael because he's miles removed. But then afterwards he tries to tuck Ishmael in there by reading to you verse 17 and 18 when Ishmael is far removed. I don't get it. Is he far removed and therefore not mentioned, or is he referred to in verses 17 and 18? What will it be? And then, yes, Ishmael was far removed, miles away, but miles away from the covenant as well. Then you said there was no verse in the Torah that excludes Ishmael from the promise. Well, let's see. First, before Ishmael or Isaac were born, the promise was given to Abraham regarding the land. Doesn't include Ishmael. Abraham then tries to endorse Ishmael in Genesis 17, but God rejects it. Doesn't sound like Ishmael is part of the covenant there. And God endorses Isaac, by the way, instead of Ishmael. In any event, then we have the sending away of Hagar and Ishmael because they don't inherit the covenant. That doesn't sound like Ishmael is part of the covenant there, Yahya. And then we have Isaac being called the only son as far as the covenant goes in Genesis 22. That doesn't sound like Ishmael is part of the covenant. So no, Ishmael is not mentioned once in regarding to the covenant. And I can't seem to get you to answer that question. Where is Ishmael mentioned regarding that covenant? Every time the covenant is named, it is Isaac that is mentioned regarding the covenant. I have given you the references, and you keep saying that you grant Isaac the covenant. Well, what's left then for Ishmael? If it is a great nation, well, okay, a great nation, singular. Who is that great nation? And I didn't say that the word for nation there was bad. I didn't say that. I said that the phrase Goy Gadol doesn't refer to a nation doing great things. It is about a nation being numerous. And as we know, the promise of a nation being numerous is also given to Isaac and to Jacob. We see that in Genesis 35. I am God Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation will and a company of nations shall come from you, and kings shall come out of your loins. This is the exact promise that God gave to Abraham. So what is your point? It only proves that there is nothing special about Ishmael. Ishmael is again excluded from the covenant. Now, we mentioned earlier that they were sent away. Now let's read that portion. Genesis 21 verse 9. Here you go. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, making merry. So they were mocking. Okay. Um, and Sarah said to Abraham, drive out this handmaid and her son, for the son of this handmaid shall not inherit with my son Isaac. But the matter greatly displeased Abraham concerning his son. Now Abraham tried to discourage it. You know what God says? Verse 12. God says to Abraham, be not displeased concerning the lad and concerning your handmaid. Whatever Sarah tells you, hearken to her voice, for Isaac will be called your seed. Did you catch that? Not Ishmael will be called your seed, as far as the promise goes. Isaac is called his seed. Why? Because we see that over and over again. In Genesis 12, his seed will inherit the land. In Genesis 15, his seed will inherit the land. So, we go to verse 13. But the son of the handmaid I will make into a nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham arose early in the morning, and let's see, I made a goof there. Early in the morning he took the bread and the leather pouch of water, and he gave them to Hagar, and placed them on her shoulder, and the child, and he sent her away, and she went and wandered into the desert of Beersheba. As far as the covenant goes, Ishmael will not inherit anything and is therefore sent away. Here God says that as far as the covenant goes, only through Isaac the covenant will be perpetuated. And that's why Ishmael is sent away in the first place. There is no other reason given. The sole reason that Sarah sends Ishmael away is because of the covenant. And here God confirms Sarah's motives and tells Abraham to do exactly what Sarah said. Notice one thing. Abraham wanted Ishmael to be part of the covenant, Sarah not. And God sided with Sarah and not with Abraham. What does that tell you? Okay, now we read on. The promise fulfilled to Ishmael. Now Ishmael got one promise only. Here it is. Genesis 17 verse 20. And regarding Ishmael I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. He will beget 12 princes, and I will make him into a great nation. Now, here is what is being promised Ishmael. 1. He will be blessed. How? God will make him fruitful. God will multiply him exceedingly, and he will beget 12 princes who will be made into a great nation. That's it. Right? So, if we read on, Genesis 25, we see the fulfillment of God's promise to Ishmael. There you go. And Abraham gave all that he possessed to Isaac, and the sons of Abraham's concubines, and Abraham gave gifts, and he sent them away from his son Isaac while he was still alive eastward to the land of the east. Now here is God's fulfillment to Ishmael. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, the sons of Abraham, whom Hagar the Egyptian, the maidservant of Sarah, bore to Abraham. Here you go. Let's see. These are the names of the son of Ishmael by their names according to their births. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nevaiot. And then he goes on to sum up all the descendants of Abraham. And we find in verse 16 the following. 16. These are the sons of Ishmael. These are their names in their open cities and their walled cities. 12 princes to their nations, perfectly fulfilling the promise God made to Abraham. Abraham was not, Ishmael was not part of the covenant of Abraham. Ishmael was only a witness to the covenant, just as the entire household of Abraham and the other sons Abraham had through Keturah, who were also circumcised, who also signed the covenant but were no part of it. Just as Ishmael was of no significance to that covenant. My time is up. I think the point has made very clear. I yield the mic.